The business of pawn. Oh, I knew the basics and how to buy gold and silver. Rick Harrison, the creator of Pawn Stars, wowed us for more than 10 years with his smart business sense and love of history, turning his small pawn shop into a hub for both pawn shopping and entertainment. But in 2023, the beloved show was suddenly ended, which shocked a lot of fans and left them scrambling for answers. He or she left behind a lot of speculation and open questions. Rick Harrison finally speaks out about Pawn Stars' cancellation after months of quiet. He sheds light on the complicated chain of events that brought down the show that millions of people loved. Was Pawn Show ending because of a drop in ratings, a lack of ideas, or something much stranger? Let's talk about when the slow is before we get to the answer to this question. What does Pawn Stars do? The secret workings of Pawn Stars that show how the show works. Pawn Stars is a popular reality TV show that shows what goes on behind the scenes at the famous gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas, Nevada. The show, which debuted on the History Channel in 2009, is about the Harrison family and their friends as they look at, negotiate, and trade a wide range of goods brought by customers. In Pawn Stars, people bring in things to sell or use as collateral for a loan, and the show is mostly about how the shop works. Professionals in the shop check these things to make sure they are real and how much they are worth. The Harrison family, with Rick Harrison as the main character, negotiates with customers to come to a deal. The show shows a wide range of items, from everyday things to rare collectibles, historical artifacts, and sometimes strange or surprising discoveries. The amount of skill used to evaluate the items is an important part of Pawn Stars. People with expert knowledge are often asked to help the show rate things that need their input, things like old guns, classic cars, and rare coins. These experts give in-depth explanations of the thing's history and significance, which adds an educational element to the show. People can see how different artifacts fit into history and how much they are worth, which is one reason why the show stays popular. Pawn Stars is a TV show where the negotiation part is very important. Rick Harrison often works with his son Corey and a coworker named Chumlee. He uses his knowledge and experience to negotiate the best deal for both the shop and the customer. The interactions that happen during these talks, along with the different personalities of the people on the show, make it interesting. The tone of this conversation is usually a mix of humor, suspense, and strategic moves, all of which keep the audience interested. Aside from just buying and selling things, Pawn Stars gives viewers a look into how the group members interact with each other. With a focus on the complicated relationship between Rick and Corey, the show looks at how the Harrison family is connected. The show shows the friendships and sometimes disagreements between the shop workers, giving the mostly business-focused plot a more human touch. But many Pawn Stars fans couldn't believe how the show came to be. The start of Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars is an American reality TV show that has been popular since its July 19, 2009 launch on the History Channel. The show is produced by Left Field Pictures and is filmed in Las Vegas, Nevada. It gives an interesting look into what the famous gold and silver pawn shop does on a daily basis. With the help of the reality TV show, this pawn shop became famous all over the world. Brent Montgomery and Colby Gaines came up with the idea for the reality TV show Pawn Stars. The people who started Left Field Pictures in 2008 while they were in Las Vegas, they were drawn to the city's pawn shops because they had a wide range of unusual items and had interesting customers and owners. Because of this interest, Montgomery and Gaines thought that a TV show about a pawn shop would be interesting to many people. Their goal was to find a family-run store with interesting items and unique people to feature. They looked for a long time before they found the gold and silver pawn shop, which is less than 2 miles from the Las Vegas Strip. This store, which had already gotten some attention from the media, turned out to be the best choice for their TV show. A PBS program about it came out in 2001, which showed off its wide range of products and great customer service. The boss and part owner of the gold and silver pawn shop, Rick Harrison, had also been trying for years to start a show based on his business without any luck. In the past, he did things like appear in the Las Vegas episode of Insomniac with Dave Vell in 2003, which got him some national attention. After a lot of trial and error, they came up with a format that combined history, negotiation, and family relations. This led to a very popular and successful reality TV show. The cast of Pawn Stars is what makes the show what it is. Most of the group is related to the Harrison family. The show became very famous very quickly, putting Rick Harrison and his family in the spotlight. The show, which was first run by Richard Oldman Harrison, is as much about the characters and how they interact with each other as it is about the odd things that come through its doors. Harrison, the famous father figure in Pawn Star. Richard Oldman Harrison is the head of the Harrison family and is known for being strict and having a lot of experience in the pawn business. His appearance on the TV show gives the things brought into the shop a sense of wisdom and weight, and he often gives historical background. People often call Richard Harrison, who goes by the names Rick or Kevin Harrison, a famous pawn shop owner and TV star. A lot of people know him as the co-founder of Las Vegas's gold and silver pawn shop. Even though he was young, Rick Harrison showed early on that he had a good sense of business and an eye for valuable things. He started working full-time in the loan business when he was only 13. He learned the basics and got better at what he did. Early exposure like this set the stage for his future successes. In his teens, Harrison's desire to be an entrepreneur was clear when he dropped out of high school in the 10th grade to explore more profitable opportunities. Selling fake Gucci bags for $2,000 a week was a big deal for him because it showed how smart he was as a businessman and how he could spot and take advantage of market opportunities. In his later work, these skills were very important. Rick Harrison opened the gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas, Nevada with his father when he was 23 years old in 1989. The shop quickly became well known in the area thanks to Rick and his father's joint knowledge, which came from their time in the Navy and in real estate. To be different from other pawn shops, the gold and silver pawn shop only deals in one-of-a-kind, valuable things. Rick was known as the spotter because he had a great eye for rare collectibles. His knowledge of many antiques, collectibles, and historical things also helped the shop do very well. But the fact that Rick's kids were involved made the show even better. Rick's son, Corey Bigos Harrison, is an important part of the family business and adds to the fact that the pawn shop has been run by multiple generations. He started working there when he was 9 years old, polishing jewelry. Over time, he learned a lot about the pawn business and how to rate different kinds of items that came through the shop. Corey's job at the shop grew as he got bigger. He finally became the manager in charge of running the day-to-day business. Over time, it became clearer how important Corey was to the pawn shop. This made him want to officially own a piece of the business. In season 6 of Pawn Stars, Corey said he was interested in a 10% share and even said he might look for work elsewhere if his request wasn't met. Corey was given a raise and a 5% stake in the business, with the chance of a bigger share in the future. A big part of Pawn Stars is Austin Chumlee Russell, who is known for being funny and having a good time on the show. When Chumlee started working at the gold and silver pawn shop at age 21, some of his duties were to make sure that things were real, handle transactions, and write tickets for purchases. Even though his co-workers like Corey Harrison, Rick Harrison, and Richard Oldman Harrison make fun of and tease him for what they see as his lack of skills, Chumlee has shown that he is good at some things, like knowing how to work pinball machines. The way Chumlee plays the village idiot on the show adds a funny element that sticks with viewers. Even though they talk a lot, Chumlee's level of knowledge in some areas makes it hard to see him as just funny relief. For example, his ability with pinball machines, shown on an episode of Pawn Stars, shows how skilled and knowledgeable he really is, countering the one-dimensional view that his co-workers give of him. The interactions between Corey and the older Harrison are a big part of the show. They're not just about business choices, they're also about trust, respect, and trying to find your own space in the family business. Corey wants to show off his skills, but Rick and the old man are more cautious. This is especially true when it comes to high-value purchases and efforts to bring the shop up to date. The constant fights between generations are a constant source of stress that comes from having different ways of doing business and making decisions. The close attention from Rick and the old man on Corey as he does his job as manager shows how difficult it is to trust Corey's skills while also protecting the shop's profits. Since the beginning, Pawn Stars has become one of the most watched reality shows on the History Channel. It had become the channel's most popular show by January 2011. With a show on January 24th that year that got a record-breaking 7 million people. Nylon Media research shows that this success made Pawn Stars a standout show on the History Channel, attracting both watchers and history buffs, problems outside of the cams. Every episode of Pawn Stars has interesting things brought to the gold and silver pawn shop. Rick usually talks in great depth about the item's historical value and monetary worth. His skill in authenticating and valuing things has earned him respect and praise in the field. The most common thing pawned at the shop is jewelry, which is typical of the pawn industry as a whole. Jewelry is a great item for pawn deals because it is valuable, portable, and easy to appraise. People often bring in gold, silver, and valuable stone pieces that the shop can quickly look at and either buy outright or offer a loan against. Even though jewelry is the main focus, Pawn Stars also shows off a wide range of other things that come through the gold-silver pawn shop. There are about 5,000 things in the shop's inventory that can be pawned at any given time. These include musical instruments, collectibles, historical artifacts, and antiques. Each Pawn Stars show is carefully planned to focus on 5 or 6 items that customers bring in. This is done to highlight the unique qualities of each item and the negotiation and appraisal processes. A customer brings an item to a staff member, usually Rick Harrison, his son Corey, or Rick's father Richard, who is affectionately known as the old man. The staff member gives the customer information about the item, giving information about its past and importance. This part of the show is very educational because it gives viewers a look into different times and countries. The staff member then checks the item's state and makes a guess about how much it might be worth. If it's something they know how to do, they go ahead with the discussion. If not, they talk to an expert. These professionals, who include historians, evaluators, restorers, and people who work in the same industry, are brought in to make sure the item is real and give it an appraisal. When something needs to be fixed or restored, the right professionals are called in to make sure the item's purity is kept. The expert gives an estimate of how much this process will cost, which is a very important part of deciding how much to value the item and whether it is worth purchasing fixes. In the last step, you have to negotiate prices with the customer. This part of the program can be tense and dramatic as both sides try to come to a deal that works for everyone. The way the actors interact with each other and the clients adds a human interest element that draws viewers into the characters' relationships and how they change over time. A lot of the time, the show asks experts to review things. These experts are usually very knowledgeable in a wide range of subjects, which adds to the credibility of the cast members' reviews. Rick Harrison, a famous person, once said that it's important not to get attached to things emotionally when negotiating prices. He was emphasizing the need to avoid buying things based on feeling alone. Reality TV shows like Pawn Stars are very hard to film logistically. It would not be possible to record random customer interactions in the store in a cost-effective way because real-life interactions are unpredictable and could make it harder to consistently deliver interesting content that keeps viewers interested. Pawn Stars deals with these problems by using a technique called selective realism, which means showing a carefully chosen version of truth. The show's producers chose to include the most interesting things in exchanges so that it would have a mix of educational content, comedy, and drama. Things that don't matter, long negotiations, and small details about how the pawn shop works are cut down to keep viewers interested. The way the gold and silver pawn shop works, which involves about 700 people, shows that there is a lot of planning going on behind the scenes. This is made even clearer by the fact that the hosts are only there when the show is being filmed. Also, even though a lot of people visit the shop every day, only a few of the exchanges are shown in the final version of the show. This is usually because the producers get both the items and the customers ahead of time to make sure they will make interesting content. In addition to this structured approach, hosts usually follow pre-written scripts, which is common in the entertainment industry. This is done to make sure that conversations make sense and stay true to the storyline. The focus is on making the show more entertaining by showing off the unique personalities of the cast members, like Chumlee's funny antics and Rick's tough negotiations. People watching thought they had been through a lot of different situations, so the unexpected turns that happened caught them off guard. The bad trouble was far from over. Court cases, a number of unplanned events that happened at the same time and changed Pawn Stars' course led to its fall. In October 2012, there was a lawsuit between AE Networks, History, and some cast members of the famous reality TV show Pawn Stars. Wayne Jeff, a famous Las Vegas promoter and the manager of the show's stars, including Rick Harrison, filed this case in Clark County District Court in Las Vegas. These people are Richard Harrison, Corey Harrison, and Austin Chumlee Russell. Jeff was very important in starting the series, but he said that over time, his power and duties were greatly diminished, which eventually led to his firing. A story that got out on TMZ in January 2012 showed that Jeff and the network were having trouble getting along. The cast of Pawn Stars was shocked when the network decided to make a spin-off show called Cajun Pawn Stars, according to this story. Jeff says that the group members didn't know about this change, which made things very difficult between them and the network. Jeff said that this event was a turning point that led to his job being reduced and eventually his firing. The case brought to light problems in the Pawn Stars franchise with how important people behind the scenes who helped make the show successful were treated. Jeff's accusations painted a picture of a show that changed quickly and pushed out early contributors as it became more famous and made more money. In 2015, Chumlee, a huge part of the show, said that he wanted to have less work to do at both the shop and the show. By 2017, he made it clear that he was going to keep a promise to his wife by working less than 12 hours a day. Chumlee knew that his task was too much for him to handle and that he might get burned out if he kept going at that rate. During the spring of 2016, Chumlee's life changed in a big and troubling way when he got involved in major legal issues. Police searched his Las Vegas home after a former employee of his pawn shop said he sexually harassed her. This event got a lot of attention from the media, which hurt Chumlee's public image. Law enforcement officers found a number of guns and illegal drugs, including crystal meth, Xanax, and cocaine, during the check. Finding these things led to Chumlee's arrest and later indictment on 20 felony charges, including charges of illegally possessing drugs and firearms. During the subsequent court hearings, Chumlee admitted guilt to the firearm charges and a minor drug offense. Because of this, he agreed to probation as part of a plea deal. The time he was on probation was an important step towards solving the legal problems that had quickly and seriously affected his personal and professional life. Even though the situation was very bad, the sexual misconduct claims were finally thrown out because there wasn't enough proof. This was a small bit of good news in a very bad situation. As of 2019, Chumlee was still on probation, which was a big step in his attempts to get past the legal problems and fix his reputation. When his probation ended, it was a big step toward recovery for him emotionally and professionally. And during this time, Chumlee had to deal with the after effects of his acts in both his personal and public life, to show how complicated and stressful it can be to be famous and successful. Case of Rick Harrison and his mother Joanne Harrison. The court case between Rick Harrison and his mother Joanne Harrison in February 2022 got a lot of attention from the media, especially since Rick was famous from the reality TV show Pawn Stars. Richard Harrison's mother, Joanne Harrison, went to court and said that Rick took advantage of her weakness to get her to give up her share of the business. It was said by Joanne that this happened soon after she woke up from a coma, which means she might not have been able to make smart choices about her business and finances at the time. When Joanne sued Rick, she said that he stopped giving her the regular monthly payments of $25,000 from their late father, Richard Harrison, who had also been involved in the business. It is said that these payouts stopped in 2020, which made things very hard for Joanne financially. In addition, she said Rick's activities were meant to sell off the family's property without her permission, which made her want to get a protection order against him. Just when it looked like the problem was over, something unexpected happened that caught everyone off guard. Things that made it less likely that Pawn Stars would continue. The death of Richard Oldman Harrison, the family father in 2018, was one of the main things that led to change. There were big changes in both the on-screen and off-screen relationships because of this event. The absence of the older Harrison not only changed how well the cast got along, but it also made people worry about how the shop would run every day and in the long term. People who liked and didn't like the show talked about and made guesses about how it would handle this loss. People thought that Richard Harrison's unique personality and wisdom could never be replaced. Even though this was a big loss, Pawn Stars continued to be very popular with fans. Unexpected global events in 2020 caused problems that had never been seen before. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic slowed down many businesses, including TV production. During filming for the 17th season in March 2020, the Pawn Stars team had to stop work because it wasn't necessary. This break wasn't just a short break, it was a major disruption that threw off the show's schedule and flow. Another big problem that hung over Pawn Stars' future was that the gold and silver pawn shop had been losing business in the years before the pandemic. People were going to and buying from the store less because of things like more competition from other pawn shops, online markets, changes in the local economy, and changes in how people buy things. Because of this, reports started going around that the show might be ending soon. At first, the pawn shop got a big boost from the success of the show. Tourists come from all over the world to see the store and meet the famous staff in person. But as it became less famous and other things to do in Las Vegas opened, the number of visitors slowly decreased. The store's money problems had to have an effect on the creation of the show, making the future of it even less certain. One of the show's main characters, Rick Harrison, seemed to be tired of acting, which made the future of the show very unclear. Rick was a key part of the show's dynamic. He was the show's knowledgeable and direct main man who wasn't afraid to negotiate hard. His knowledge and charm were big parts of what made the show so popular, and fans loved him for it. Still, Rick himself said that the show's run had been longer than he thought it would be, since he was only expecting 1 or 2 seasons. Rick and his family were under a lot of stress and had a lot to do because of the show's sudden popularity. After 7 years on the air, they were showing signs of tiredness and burnout. Fans were thrilled when they heard that the show would be back on March 22, 2021. Even though there were many legal and practical problems, the cast and team were able to film during the pandemic and make it to the premiere of the 17th season on the History Channel. The path leading up to this premiere was full of problems. The pandemic caused problems in the entertainment industry that had never been seen before. It messed up shooting schedules and made the team follow strict health rules. For everyone's safety, it was important to adjust to a new normal that included social isolation, regular tests, and changes to the way things were made. Even though there were problems, the cast and team worked hard, and the premiere of the 17th season got great reviews from fans, critics, and viewers. People liked how the season kept up the high standards and interesting material that had made the show a mainstay on the History Channel. Fans and people who work in the entertainment business are hopeful that the show can keep up its great run for several more seasons because of how well the season did. After COVID-19, the shows will start up again. One of the most interesting things about the 17th season was that Chumlee, a popular but controversial character on the show, came back. Chumlee had been in a lot of trouble with the law lately. He was known for being awkward and funny a lot of the time. His run-ins with the law were for major crimes that made people wonder about his future on the show. Even with these problems, Chumlee came back in March 2021, which made fans very happy because they had missed his unique personality and appearance. His return showed how strong the show was and how it could deal with problems. It also emphasized a theme of redemption and second chances that struck a chord with fans who had followed his journey on and off the screen. His participation in the 17th season not only made the show more entertaining, but it also showed how close the group is and how they can help each other through personal and professional problems. After the success of the 17th season, the show kept people interested and finally aired its 21st season, which ended in June 2022. Each new season built on the best parts of the previous ones by bringing more interesting historical facts, interesting stories, and the lively exchanges between cast members that had become the show's trademark. Even though people got used to the new normal, reports of the show's cancellation started going around, which made people wonder what would happen to Pawn Stars in the future. People have grown very attached to the Harrison family and their team, which makes the latest news about Rick Harrison's personal tragedy even more powerful. Rick Harrison, one of the main characters and co-owner of the pawn shop, lost his son Adam Harrison in 2024, which broke his heart. Adam, who was 39 years old, died in Las Vegas from an overdose of fentanyl. This terrible event has made people even more curious about what will happen to the show in the future, even though its end was almost certain. Where is Pawn Stars now? Even though there are personal problems going on, work on getting ready for the next season of Pawn Stars keeps going as planned. The casting of new episodes is set to begin as planned, as revealed by Rick Harrison's representative, Laura Hitch. It has been made clear that Adam's death will not affect Rick's ability to be on the show. It's also worth mentioning that Adam Harrison had nothing to do with the show, which is why the production schedule hasn't changed. The popularity of Pawn Stars in the gold-silver pawn shop has given Rick Harrison many new business possibilities, which have led him to focus on more than just pawn shops. Harrison has added to his list of things he does by writing a book called License to Pawn, Deals, Steals in My Life at the Gold and Silver. In it, he talks about his personal life and his time working as a pawnbroker. Rick has also been a speaker on a lot of TV shows and other media outlets, which has helped build his brand and reputation even more. Still, despite all of his success, he still takes part in the day-to-day operations of the gold and silver exchange shop by buying, selling, and repairing things. As a co-founder of the gold and silver pawn shop and a well-known character in Pawn Stars, Richard Rick Kevin Harrison made important contributions to the pawn business and pop culture. Because of his part on the show, he has shown that he is good at business and can spot valuable things. His journey as an entrepreneur shows how powerful hard work, business, and family can be in getting things done. Pawn Stars stands out as a unique reality TV show that has a mix of educational, entertaining, and interesting human stories. The show gives fans an interesting look into the world of pawnbroking and the interesting stories behind everyday items by following the day-to-day activities of a family-run pawn shop in Las Vegas. Pawn Stars is an important reality TV show because of how famous it is and how it has affected culture. Because of how popular the show was, it has led to many similar and spin-offs such as American Restoration, Counting Cars, and Pornography. Building on the ideas and characters presented in Pawn Stars and making a wide range of reality TV shows about collecting and history. If you like this video, please click the next button and share it with your friends.